In previous parts, we have shown how Andrew Drummond has spent years publishing false and defamatory articles against Brian Flowers, his wife Punippa, their family, and their legitimate businesses. On the 13th of August 2025, Andrew Drummond was served with a detailed pre-action protocol letter of claim, the official first step in UK defamation and harassment cases. This formal legal document identified every article and its defamatory meaning, explained why the allegations of sex trafficking, child trafficking, fraud and threats were entirely false, set out the serious harm caused, demonstrated that no defence of truth or public interest was available, and demanded immediate removal of the articles, a retraction, and an undertaking not to repeat the claims. The 25-page letter was sent by recorded delivery directly to Drummond's residential address in England. In a classic case of burying his head in the sand, Drummond ignored the pre-action protocol letter of claims sent to him, choosing silence over any form of defence or response. Rather than engaging with the detailed allegations of defamation and harassment as required by the formal process, he opted to pretend the letter had never arrived, leaving the solicitors with no choice but to escalate the matter. Ultimately, by ignoring the letter entirely, Drummond breached the pre-action protocol for media and communications claims, which the court treats as the normal, reasonable approach that all parties are expected to follow. What happened next reveals the true character of the man. After ignoring the letter, legal agents visited his home address to serve the papers in person. When they arrived, Andrew Drummond meekly denied being Andrew Drummond. He claimed he didn't know who Andrew Drummond was. He pretended the person they were looking for didn't live there. Even when the agents presented a photo of Drummond to himself, he still denied it was him. This is not the behaviour of a confident, fearless journalist standing behind his work. This is the behaviour of a coward, trying to hide from the consequences of his own actions. And here is the deeper problem. Andrew Drummond has a long history of fleeing accountability. He fled Thailand in 2015 while facing over 20 defamation lawsuits from both private individuals and Thai authorities. Now, back in the UK, he appears to have almost no assets. He lost his pension via the LM Managed Performance Fund, the very Ponzi-like scheme he was actively paid to promote through advertising on his own website, run by Neil Robert of Global Investments. He has no private pension, no property, and no savings of any significance. On paper, he is totally reliant on and supported by the UK taxpayer. This lack of assets makes taking successful legal action against him in the UK extremely difficult. Even when Brian Flowers wins the court judgment, there may be very little to actually recover. This is a double-edged sword. Because Drummond has no meaningful assets and lives on state handouts, he is effectively shielded from the financial consequences of his actions. This protection allows him to continue peddling false headlines and defamation on behalf of Adam Howell without fear of personal ruin. A legitimate journalist would never operate this way. A legitimate journalist values truth, accountability, and professional integrity above all else. Andrew Drummond has shown he values none of those things. In fact, in the last week, Drummond has begun referring to himself as a retired journalist, rather than the award-winning journalist he used to proudly claim. Andrew Drummond is not a journalist. He is a professional coward and a professional liar who has spent years weaponizing victimhood, hypocrisy, and fabricated danger to line his own pockets while destroying innocent people. He fled Thailand to escape justice. He now hides behind a lack of assets in the UK to avoid the consequences of his lies. And all the while, he keeps earning money by attacking Brian Flowers and his family on behalf of a paying client. This is the true, pathetic reality of the man who calls himself a journalist.